Hi, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec Podcast, where I'll help you create teams worth leading. Life is too short to lead mediocre teams. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, and today our subject is unhappy meals. Before we get to that, as this is coming out about 24 hours after the release date, I'm holding another free live stream about giving yourself a coaching upgrade, how to handle tough conversations, and how to have more courageous feedback as part of your leadership capabilities. It's free. If you sign up, you're going to get my free ebook about my impact coaching framework and also the recording. So check it out. Link is in the show notes. Don't miss it out. And now let's talk about unhappy meals. The other day, as we are prone to do every couple of months, we agreed to get the kids some McDonald's. Sorry. Now, as we got there, we saw a bunch of unhappy kids and a bunch of their, machines, kiosks that showed all sorts of error messages. When we asked, they told us, oh yeah, we're out of the Happy Meal toys, so we cannot sell Happy Meals. You cannot order them. And I asked, so what, you're out of the patties and everything? No, they had what, the actual food you're supposed to get there, but they ran out of the toys somehow. And therefore, that day, we could not order a Happy Meal. I don't know about you. I saw that and immediately my brain went into what I so often see, which is when we have employees without enough agency, without enough autonomy, resulting in things that just make no real sense. What I was thinking is, why can't you just give me a buck off and give me the Happy Meal? I'm gonna be okay without the toy, and you're probably better off selling those patties as opposed to letting them spoil. So why not give me the Happy Meal without the happy component? But no, they were not in liberty of doing that. They were not even in liberty of, signing up a post-it saying, come here and, tomorrow and you'll get the toy. Just so, I'll pay now, I'll come back tomorrow if the toy is so important, and they can sell everyone the Happy Meals. No. Those Happy Meals had to stay there. This is like so bureaucratic, and I cannot believe that that's the case with a bunch of, intelligent beings, but that was what they were able of doing. They were just stuck. As stupid as that might sound, and you're thinking, yeah, what does that have to do with my team, Aviv? I'll let you know. Because I see this all the time when your team does not realize the amount of autonomy and agency it has, or when you, my friend, are holding them back from actually having that. If your people have to ask you about, can we write unit tests for this, or are we in blitz mode and we're not testing? If they have to do that level of communication with you, they are essentially, McDonald's workers. That's what I'm saying here. And even more so, if your managers, if your leads in teams do not know whether they can move people around within a sprint, talk to product directly, decide about all sorts of changes, have this descoping conversations when needed, let know others what's going on. If everything has to go through, this strict chain of command, if they do not have enough autonomy and you're essentially the bottleneck, or and a couple more people who are your second in command, for example, are the bottlenecks of the organization and everything has to go through you, you're creating a McDonald's, my friend, and there will come a point where everyone's going to be unhappy without getting their Happy Meals. No matter how good you are at what you do, no matter how smoothly you think things are operating, you're capping your team's ability to perform at its peak because you are essentially a single-threaded process trying to control all of the scheduling happening within your realm. I'm sorry, that's a bit of an OS metaphor. But I think that if you want to reach your team's potential, if you want to really see what an amazing team looks like, you have to create the guidelines and the defaults that allow them to operate at full capacity the majority of the time without having to ask for permission, without having to escalate and go to you or go through the chain of command. I love it when people have the ability of speaking to their colleagues and sorting things out on their own without having to come to me. And when that ending cord doesn't need to be pulled, when we can continue working, where we can find a workaround with our peers and things will be fine, because I do not want to be notified of every single little thing. I want to have people with autonomy and agency who are able of working and producing things as fast as possible and actually are using their amazing brains to come up with ways of solving things. You worked and toiled so hard in the interviewing processes, in the onboarding to ensure that you're getting people who have the ability to be smart, to be brilliant, who have ideas, and then you cuffed them and told them you have to do precisely what Jira tells you to, and if you have to stray right or left, you have to come to me first. I'm sorry, I'm not into being a kindergarten teacher. I'm into seeing teams where people do things and deliver things at a way that is remarkable, creating career highlights for them, creating amazing business impact for the business, and having this connection of those two to create something really worthwhile. Again, the first line of this podcast episode, helping you create teams worth leading. This is a major and key part of that. So I want you to think about, where are you treating your people as if you were in a McDonald's branch? Are you giving them the proper guidelines so they can make decisions on their own? Do they have the right defaults so they know what decisions can be made and when they actually need to escalate or ask someone else? Are you clear enough on the agency that they've got? Are you genuinely, with yourself and with the management you have in your organization, able to say that people are delegated and have enough autonomy to do things on their own? Or do they always have to ask their parents' permission before making any small change? We don't want to do that, especially if you have a team that's not just comprised of juniors. Let them shine. Let them do their thing on their own. Let them come to you only when needed. You'll find that with time, this creates teams that are way more autonomous and therefore have a lot more impact, provide the momentum you need to move forward, and also a lot more creativity and innovation. Because when we have this space for making our own decisions, for thinking, this is when people actually flourish. This is where people can bring in their own ideas instead of just following whatever is already told them on Jira. We don't want to do that. That's me for this week. I hope you're understanding that the key to turning that frown upside down and have your unhappy meals be happier is by giving your people the right autonomy. If you need help with that, I'm your person. My email is in the show notes. And again, check out the link to the live stream tomorrow because I don't want you to miss out on it, on the ebook, and on the special offering I'm going to announce on it. So check it out. And as always, if you want to get more of similar content, because you just can't get enough of me, there's my newsletter link in the show notes where you can get my weekly newsletter with this podcast, a video, an article, 3 exclusive insights, and sometimes even more stuff like cute pictures of my kids. So check it out, and I'll be here next week. Ciao.